My name is Wissam Jayyoussi. I'm currently now 45 years old. I've been living in Dubai for 22 years and I'm married with 2 girls. The Goodwill Journey was an idea that came out around 2007. Every one of us tries to do something for the community, for the people, I'm sure every one of you have tried to join a charity, do some social work. So it started, I was working for an organization called PCRF, Palestine Child Relief Fund. So basically they help children in Palestine, in Lebanon, Jordan, in the areas where war has struck and it was torn and there was nobody to help these children. First trip was on a motorcycle, was for an organization called Hope and Play. They used to build playgrounds for children with focus on children with special needs. As a Middle Eastern with a Jordanian passport, you have the passport, right? The amount of issues I had because of visas is ridiculous. 130 countries was 89 visas because Schengen was covering a lot of countries. But I ended up with 5 passports, full page-to-page, 50 pages each of visas and stamps to do this trip. And in a lot of places, things are not as easy as people think sometimes. I mean, you say, okay, I'm going to go through this trip, you go to the border, you stamp, you go in, you go out. Some countries are not like that. Some countries will require you to pre-plan this and get approvals to enter. The trip started from Dubai in March 2015 and ended August last year, 2018. So basically it started from UAE. I went through Iran, Armenia, Georgia, all the way up to Russia and went to here, took a ferry to South Korea, Seoul did that, then to Japan, came back to Russia, through China, Southeast Asia, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia, Singapore, and I went to Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand, then from bike trips here we went around the other side, Pacific, and came to Chile. And the plan, I'm not going to go through every country, there's a lot of countries here, is to go to Ushuaia, which is called the end of the world. It's the most southern city to the most northern city in Prudhoe Bay in Alaska. So I went down to Ushuaia, through all of the countries, all the way back to Prudhoe Bay. From here we shipped to Ireland. And again, the plan was to do point to point. So we went all the way up to North Cape, through all of the countries in Europe, and then went down all the way to Cape Town. So it was also point to point. And then from there, went back to Jordan, went through Saudi, Kuwait, and back to Dubai. So that was 5 continents and 3.5 years. The bike has on the meter now, it went out with 0, now it has 250,000 kilometers on it. Wow. So that was the total. Just to give you an idea, the world, if you want to go around the world in one shot, just to go around is 36,000 kilometers. So this was 250,000, which is around the world like 6 times, right? So again, I used to go to countries, stop, talk to people, talk to magazines, TVs, spread the cause, talk about it, and keep going. Some countries I did have some expectations. For example, when you go into Afghanistan, you have this notion of massive danger, crazy place, and this was wrong because I had the friendliest people ever, right, treating me. There is also a country that was completely opposite to my expectations. This country honestly blew me away, Algeria. Algeria had a lot of history of terrorism and they had a lot of issues. And when you see all the riders always go to Morocco. Morocco, when you go, it's full of riders, right? It's unbelievable. Europeans from everywhere, from the US. So I went to Morocco. The thing is that the border between Morocco and Algeria is closed. You cannot cross from it. It's been closed for 20 years. They had some dispute over land and stuff. So Algeria, to go to Algeria is a complicated thing. You have to go back to Spain, where I crossed to Morocco from. And then you need to ride to a place called Almarie, I think. And from there, take an 8-hour ferry to Algeria. And when you cross with the ferry to Morocco, you will see like 10, 20 bikes with you on the ferry. With this one, I was the only one. So, and people were telling me, stay away from Algeria. You know, Algeria is risky, Algeria is dangerous, there's still a lot of terrorism there. And so I went there being very cautious, a bit worried, but I wanted to go there. And I think they're the most generous people on earth. I have never, I mean, I had a lot of generous people on the trip that helped me, all the way from Canada to Japan. But Algeria was different. You know, from day one, some guy on a bike met me, and they would not let me go. And Algeria is 2,500 kilometers of coastline, which I rode, and the entire time I had either somebody with me or somebody waiting for me. They would not let me sleep in a hotel. They would not let me pay for food. They would not let me do anything. And someone was with me all the time, all the way till I reached the Tunisian border.